the arena as his running mate, even though he is not yet the nominee, so his problem is solved. Now, everybody hates him. I'm Peter Sagal. We'll be spontaneously singing to your children on this week's news quiz from NPR.
Today at 11 on WNYC. WNYC is supported by Cinema Made in Italy, presenting La Tesa. Juliette Binoche stars as a mother awaiting her son's return to Sicily for Easter, but when his girlfriend arrives first, she knows something's wrong. La Tesa is now playing at the landmark Sunshine Cinema. WNYC is a media partner of the Public Theater, presenting Free Shakespeare in Central Park, beginning with an all-female production of The Taming of the Shrew, May 24th through June 26th. Tickets at publictheater.org.
New York City is facing a housing crisis, and not for the first time. In the 1930s, Mayor LaGuardia put forth a radical solution. He created public housing.
It becomes necessary for the government to step in so that people may live in decent homes.
There Goes the Neighborhood, a new series from WNYC and The Nation about gentrification in Brooklyn. Tune in Tuesday during Morning Edition and All Things Considered, or listen to the entire series at wnyc.org/neighborhood.
This is the New Yorker Radio Hour. I'm David Remnick. A few months ago, before the winter set in, I got up very, very early one Sunday morning to go surfing. The occasion for this piece of idiocy is that William Finnegan, a staff writer at The New Yorker, whom I've known for a million years, has just published a memoir about his life as a surfer. And I was very curious how this deeply serious reporter of the world's troubles spent so much of his life doing something absolutely nuts. Little did I know or suspect at the time that Finnegan's book, Barbarian Days, would go on to win a Pulitzer Prize.
Look at this! I mean, nobody can surf, but look at the waves. Wow.
I'm sitting out on the beach with the great Bill Finnegan.
Oh!
See that?
Oh, let's try that again. That was quite a wipeout.
I'm sitting out at the Atlantic.
Look at that stance.
Wow. I'm David Remnick, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Bill Finnegan, who's written an astonishing book called Barbarian Days. And we're sitting out here in the Rockaways at the Atlantic, watching a lot of people fall in the water as they try to surf.
There are probably more than 100 people in the water, and the waves are kind of nice. They're small and quick. And one of the odd things about this crowd is that there are no clumps of people where the waves are concentrating, because nobody out can read the water at all. Nobody's reading the waves, and you actually read the waves first before you ride them. I read these as pretty good, with a couple of good spots to take off. Water looks so nice, I want to go dive in.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get in the water, and we're going to attempt to stand on a board.
You're going to catch some waves.
Yeah.
You might be well advised to stay on your belly the first couple.
That's what I tend to do when I surf.
It's low tide, so it's going to be a little crunchy, a little quick. Let's go west. Yeah.
Let's go where it's maximally dangerous. And you began this adventure in life as a really young kid in Hawaii as a way to do what? As a way to get out of the house?
I grew up playing around in the ocean in Southern California. At a certain point, the age of 10, I really admired surfers and how beautiful what they did seemed, and how cool. This is in the early mid-60s.
How long did it take you? How many times did it take you before you could get up on a board and surf a wave?
I think the first wave I caught, I stood up and rode for a long time. But I was a small kid.
The first time you went surfing?
Yeah, but I was a small kid on a big board. I spent a lot of time in the water body surfing.
Just trying to make me feel better.
I spent a lot of time in the water body surfing. I could read waves.
Right.
I've been reading them for years, and that's the crucial thing.
And why did it become an obsession? It wasn't just, you know, everybody when they're kids, they play playground basketball, or they collect model airplanes, or they do what they do. Surfing for you has never been that. How did that start, and why?
Well, surfing is quite different from other sports, and it's not just me, it's for lots and lots of people this happens. It takes a tremendous amount of time to get even halfway decent. I mean, you need to put in basically years during which you have nothing else to do. In other words, you need to be a kid. And once you learn, the pleasure of it is so intense.
What is it? What's the pleasure of it?
Well, riding a wave well, it feels like such an achievement because you know how far you've had to come to do it. There's that. Some waves I caught in Fiji in the 70s, off an uninhabited island. A friend and I camped there. We'd kind of heard about a wave, and then we'd seen this wave with binoculars, and it was an absolutely incredible wave. Long, 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 with 300-yard long left over a very shallow coral reef, just going on and on and on, and you're not getting obliterated, not falling.
And in real time, how long does the experience last?
It's probably 10 or 15 seconds, but it feels like forever. I mean, you're in that moment where you are braced for impact. You're about to dive off, and you don't dive off, and you don't dive off.
What are you seeing? What's in front of your eyes?
Well, you're looking down the line. What's the wave going to do? What's the wave going to do? And at a certain point, when you realize that the wave is just going to hold you that deep in the barrel and just fire you like a cannon down this reef, you are free to actually look back deeper into the tube. You're free to look up at the wave that's breaking over your head. You're inside, and you're looking at daylight and sky ahead, and that's where you're headed.
Is it roaring or quiet?
It's noisy. I mean, at a certain point in the barrel, people say it gets quiet, and I think I've felt that, but I don't know why it should be true, because the wave's breaking full force all around you.
All right.
First,
Here we go.
let's put your leash on. Put it back
I
down.
have to put a leash on?
Yeah.
This is the third most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life.
So, the two things I told you, it's actually important to remember now.
Board straight.
Straight. Board straight. And second thing I didn't get to finish telling you.
Okay.
Never get your board between you and the wave.
Good you told me that.
Yes. It's to the side or behind you.
Good
To the
tip.
side or behind you. Never between you and the wave.
Excellent tip.
Third thing.
So the board should always be to your side.
Side or behind you, anywhere but except in front of you. Because it will hit you quickly.
Okay, great.
And the third thing, and this is for after you fall off.
Yeah.
This could happen.
Which could possibly happen.
Get a good breath if you can before you fall off. Fill your lungs. And when you fall in, it's not real deep, it's not a lot of water, but nonetheless go as deep as you can, go to the bottom, whatever. And then hold your breath and stay down a little while.
Why?
Because the board is bumping around, you don't want to get hit. And then when you come up, and this is the most important single thing, come up with your arms over your head.
So it's
in
not
front of your face, so you don't get hit by your board.
And you think that I'm going to remember all this
Yes.
in a moment of crisis?
No, I mean, people never do until they get hit a couple times, but
I don't want to get hit any time.
so that's why I think you will remember.
All right, let's go.
Okay, let's walk this way a little bit. Because the current's going that way. We don't want to end up on those rocks.
Okay.
Pretty little waves.
You know, Bill, I read your book. I've read your book a couple of times, and I cannot help but thinking this guy has had more fun in about 3 weeks of life than I've had in a lifetime. There are different ways of living lives. You know, that Milan Kundera book, Lightness and Heaviness. The heaviness of responsibility, and there's the lightness of living outside, trying to live away from that. And you've done both. You know, as a reporter, you've been in the middle of the worst circumstances all around the world. And then you do this. How does one treat the other?
It's a good description. I mean, I have this sort of bipolar life, and the North Pole of irresponsibility is surfing. You know, dropping everything. It's nature worship, and you have to be ready if you're going to surf to like ditch all engagements and flee your desk and make all kinds of bogus excuses to editors while you chase the waves when they're there.
But you did it for years at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. If you've got the time and money, you just go. And I just went. You know, like dog whistle orders from on high. And I went to the South Seas, Australia, Southeast Asia, Africa, looking for waves.
And nothing was tugging you back. Parents, friends, money, whatever it is. Nothing was dragging you back to...
Well, ambition was. I mean, I felt like, you know, everybody was getting on with life except me. I'm laying here with malaria in Sumatra. You know, why am I doing this? Well, my parents got fed up with it after about 2 or maybe 2.5 years. They just showed up in Cape Town where I was teaching high school. Enough was enough, you know. I mean, they'd had like a few phone calls for me in 2.5 years. It's not that I didn't remember them, but
And you never get bored of it.
bored with waves?
Yeah.
Not when the waves are good.
And so there's always the lure of the possibility of the waves.
Right, and the waves are usually not good, and you spend a huge amount of time chasing good, uncrowded waves.
All right, here we go. It's fairly cold. I would wear a parka if I could. I didn't exactly grow up in a beach family.
Go and lay down. I'll push you out. Good. Good. Go ahead and lay down.
Get on it?
Yep.
My usual experience of the ocean in New York City is when I would go with my grandmother after visiting my great-grandmother to Coney Island, and she would just yell at me and say, "Watch out for the syringes."
You're okay. Don't paddle. Don't paddle. Don't paddle.
What is it in your personality that makes surfing part of you?
I have been surfing so long that it's probably
It is your personality.
formed my personality to some extent. And anyway, all kinds of personalities surf. You know,
Right, I was gonna say you're not Mr. Laid Back. I mean, it's not like some cartoon of a surfer. And as a writer and as a reporter, you couldn't be more ferocious and aggressive in your own way.
I think I'm the same person surfing and reporting. I'm fairly intense in the water. I really want to surf. I take some chances. I've had lots and lots of arguments with the guys I surf with. No, we shouldn't paddle out here. I'm paddling out, that kind of stuff. So it's sort of all of a piece.
So you're the guy, when I go out reporting in some place, you're the guy who says, "No, we're going to the next checkpoint."
Yeah.
Okay.
I fear so.
Okay, fair enough. Tell me about danger. What's the catalog of your injuries?
Wow, I'm talking about danger. I'm watching people crash into each other out here who just
starting to get
don't
more
know
crowded,
what
isn't
they're
it?
doing. Yes, and people not hanging onto their boards. So the main danger is
Starting to look like the Belt Parkway on the ocean.
Yes, it is. So the main danger is other people's surfboards, I'd say. With me, I mean, yeah, I have lots of little injuries, concussions, broken nose, you know, broken this and that, but
What do you mean broken this and that?
I don't know, my ankles are a mess. It seems like everything that's wrong with me is from surfing, but most of it's long term. It's my eyes are messed up from the glare. I've got these pterygia in both eyes. My ears are really messed up from cold water. I've had 3 operations. My skin is a mess. I'm always having this basal cell carcinoma dug out, and I hope it remains only like that.
Are you oblivious to the danger, or it just comes with the territory, and if you don't want to get hurt, don't surf?
If you know what you're doing in the water, it's usually not at all dangerous. You know, if the first time you go out, you don't really know what to do, you get hit by your board, usually first time. That's sort of how you learn where not to put your surfboard.
Yeah.
But if you've been doing it for a million years, all those dangers go away. In a crowd, there's other people's boards flying around, and in serious waves, there's the bottom and the power of the waves themselves, and when it's dangerous, though, you know that if you have a lot of experience.
Have you ever been terrified?
Yes.
Where?
In Hawaii, in Madeira.
What's the terrifying bit?
For me, the worst moments have been in really big waves. I did something stupid. I was on too small a board in big waves at a place called Makaha in Hawaii. And I got frustrated because I was on a small board, hard to catch waves. So I moved in. I sat too far in. I sat in a really dangerous spot, and I paid the price. I got held down for a very long time by a couple of big waves, and I've actually taken a solemn vow not to do anything that stupid again.
Do you want your daughter to surf?
No.
She's how old now?
13.
And you've never kind of done with her what you just did with me?
I've pushed her into little waves.
Is she suitably terrified?
Not bad. I mean, I even
That's too
took her
bad.
out to her mother's distress before she could swim. I took her out in Costa Rica and rode some waves.
Whoa. You took her out surfing before she could swim.
It was totally safe. She had one of those little things around her, little floaty things, and I had a death grip on her leg. She was not going to fall off. The waves were small. We were on a big board, but it was taken ill by my wife and others.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. But then she and I in Hawaii one time were out on a giant tandem board riding together. We've done that a few times and ridden together just on our bellies, me and Beck. And I made a mistake and we had a really big board, like an 11-foot board. And
She got smacked.
and had her dad land on her from a height and then hold her under for a little while his legs were tied up by a leash, and it was generally pretty rough and traumatic, and she hasn't surfed since, I don't think. Get ready to slide back a little bit. You did a great job of staying under after you ate it.
I'm really good at failure.
I mean, you were in no danger because your board was that side of you. But in principle, you gotta just...
You're going to let me know when there's a wave coming, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to be more careful. Always make sure I get back to shore. That's the main thing.
Yeah! Oh, Jesus Christ! Now you have to stand up on the thing. I think I'm hooked. I'm ready to go to Tahiti or wherever. This book is a memoir, and it uses surfing as a vehicle, as a way of living. And when you look back on all the time you've spent in the water and thinking about surfing, it seems to me like it's like physical chess in a way. It's meaningful and meaningless at the same time. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's the most useless thing you could possibly do. It's just a monomaniacal pastime, and really doesn't resemble sport. There's nobody keeping score. You'd rather do it alone usually, although there's a performance aspect, and
you want to be seen?
Yes, you want to be seen. You want to do it well. You want to do it stylishly. That's important.
And it has to do with masculinity?
Not necessarily. Some women surf beautifully, but it's...
I meant your own masculinity.
Well, it's certainly, especially in bigger waves, more challenging waves, it's a continual proving ground. Yes.
What can you do less well now that you're not only a man of parts but a man of 60?
62, yeah.
Who's counting? This is a really tough thing to do. Get up on a board and ride a wave and stay out there for a long period of time. What becomes trickier, harder, more painful?
Well, the general process of what surfers call becoming a kook again, a kook as a beginner, is psychologically quite painful. And that's what goes on when you get old.
You feel that you're a beginner again in some way?
Not that bad, but you're headed in that direction.
Yeah.
You peaked a while ago as a surfer. You can read waves just as well. I see where I need to be. I see what I need to do. And what do you know? You're not as quick or as strong as you used to be. Where you really notice it, or I really notice it, is in the pop-up, which you and I haven't got to yet.
Yeah, well, that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. Springing to your feet. On a small board, a short board, which is what I still ride, the timing's got to be perfect, and you got to be strong.
When do you stop?
I have no plans to stop. I do know guys who surf into their 80s, obviously on bigger boards and gentler waves, and they
On lakes.
try to find some way to grow old gracefully.